you guys, and welcome back to this lovely channel that we have where we just share this space and have a grand old time. Okay, my cringy ass aside. I am doing the slowest palette collection to ever exist, but today we're coming in with a freaking banger. Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, I have Anastasia's palettes right here, and then I have Norvina's. I don't have all of Norvina's, I don't have all of Anastasia's, but again, oh, I should have said this, sorry. The wind is insane. It's horrific. Our sighting's messed up. That's what you keep hearing. I'm so sorry. I can't help it at all. But anyways, I have a good little stack of palettes for us to get through, and I'm not gonna blab too much because Anastasia palettes are super well known for being absolutely fabulous. We're gonna start with this type of palette, and then we'll move into the Norvina ones. So obviously we're gonna start with the girl that I think really put us on the map. I know there were palettes before this, but this really put us on the map. This is Modern Renaissance palette, and it's of course that velvety texture. I'm actually heartbroken they stopped doing this texture. Yes, it got absolutely freaking filthy, but it's so cute. Let's take the brush out because that's gonna make a surplus of noise. So this is my Modern Renaissance palette, and in a crazy twist of fate, this is one of my newer palettes, especially from this type of collection. I did not have this palette for so long. I wound up buying it because sorry, give me 1 second. So sorry. I wound up buying it because I feel like everybody needs this palette. I just feel like this palette is iconic. I do feel like the color story was so good. It is so good. I still use this palette quite a bit. If I want a good pinky peachy, neutral color, shade, this is where I'm going for sure. This is, oh my god. Sorry, I had to pause it because of the dogs. I'm gonna another back. Great 10 out of 10 palette. I'm gonna try and go in order, but girl, I don't remember the order. I think it's this one. This girl right here was sorry. This girl right here was heavily criticized and, in my opinion, undeservingly. I mean, oh, sorry. Okay. She was put through the ringer online, and I don't think it was all deserving. This palette I actually use a lot. This is the original formula, so yes, it's very powdery. Yes, it has a kickback to it for sure. The fallouts, it is nothing to play with, I won't lie. But specifically this shade right here, this electric shade, that's an unmatched shade. This Adorn up here, also fantastic. Pretty much, oh, this cube shade, it looks like just a white shade, but it's not. It's got reflex in it. It's like a duochrome look. These, this little 6-pack right here, there are only 3 shades with any glitter in this palette, so keep that in mind. But this is just a 10 out of 10 palette. Okay, 10 out of 10 is a little high, maybe a 7.5, 8, I don't know. 10 out of 10 seemed a little crazy once I said it. I don't think this deserved all the hate it got. I think this was a great palette. I think it was an entertaining color story, and it was a little bit before its time. I think if this came out now, with the waves that Juvia's Place and Urban Decay and stuff have made in terms of colored eyeshadow, that I think this would have been well received. I think it was just even though Urban Decay wasn't doing the crazier palettes then, but I don't know, it's a great palette. I love it. This is the girl that started it abused hell and back, and it's why it looks like this. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like it's been through a freaking war zone. Like, but it's that girl, and I stand behind her. Another one I will stand behind on death's door. Norvina. This is obviously Norvina's first like palette that came out. I don't know if she had anything to do with this or if it was just named after her. I'm not. What the fuck? Sorry. That's the fucking sighting smashing into the side of my fucking house. Anyways, this palette. I love this palette. I don't do a lot of purple anymore, but I used to do a crap ton of purple, which is why everything looks like it's been through a freaking like Renaissance festival. I don't know, but it's been used, abused, and well loved. This is a great palette with an amazing color story, and you can just do so much with these palettes, and that's why I love them. They're so versatile. I stand behind these. Now, I went through these kind of fast because these are the 4 that everybody knows, okay? Now we're moving on to the ones that I don't feel like have gotten some of the love that they deserve. The Riviera palette. There was a good, like, 8 months where there were like 9 and 10 of these things at like TJ Maxx's and Marshalls. They could not get rid of this palette. They were begging people at the door basically to take this palette. I wound up buying this palette for like $8 on sale at TJ Maxx. Basically like a price that you could not turn down. And I'm not really sure why, again, unless it's like it was before its time. The color pay, I will say the color payoff isn't as good on these as it is on the ones I just showed you. But I mean, these are great colors, and like, you know, you work with them and they turn out fine. I've done some great looks with them. I haven't used this one as much, which I do think is probably part of the reason I bought it so cheap. But this is a great palette. I will say this is the first one, or one of the first ones that didn't have that like velveteen material on it. There's a stain on the under the or there. I'll tell you what, one thing about me, I'm a stain some shit. I will stain anything. Give me something that's a stainable material, I'ma stain it. I'm gonna stain it. That's just who I am to my core. Now, the Carly Bible palette. Now, I'm gonna be fully honest. I bought this on sale somewhere. I don't even know where. But I was never a Carly Bible fan. I don't really know a whole lot about her. So if she has since been canceled or something, sorry. I don't know anything about her, but I do love the packaging. The packaging's really cute. It's like kind of like raised, kind of like a bubble wrap feel almost. I will say, in terms of like cartons, this one has not held up the best like some of the other ones. But I will also say, this color story, 5,000 out of 10. You've got like your random kind of like blue grays. You've got like a basically straight up gray here. You've got these beautiful colors like these 3 right here. Oh, and that one, and that one. And then you've got like some nice neutrals that you don't have to do something crazy, but also you've got these like really good transition shades and something to deepen it. Like, the one thing I don't love is that these are the only 2 like darker shades in this palette, so there aren't a whole lot of like things to like deepen up a crease in here, because I don't use shimmers for that. So like I would have this as an option and this as an option, and that's it. What color is that? Oh, that's got glitter in it too. So it is a little light. I think if I were to use this, I'd have to bring something else with me. I don't think I could just use this. But it is a good palette. I don't get the love from it that I should get, but it is really good. I do really like it. I love these shades. Okay, now if you remember this palette, like honestly, we are besties. We're locked in. This is the Alyssa Edwards palette. I wish I had the Jackie Aina palette, but I don't. This is the Alyssa Edwards palette. Now listen, I love Alyssa. I love the packaging. I love Alyssa as a whole, but I do not like this palette. I think this palette, it was done almost sort of like it was for drag makeup. I'm not saying makeup or whatever, but it feels like it was almost made for drag makeup, which I'm sure it was, but it makes it virtually unusable for the average person, or at least the person who's terrified to use color on a daily basis. And I also have found that due to the pigment of shades like the yellows and like this little sack right here, see, it starts with the yellow, and then this pink, blue, brown, black, and this orange, or this purple, this orange, this purple, they're chalky. They feel like dry, and I'm talking you can tell how little I've used this palette. For that reason, they just don't feel very blendable to me, and the formula's very powdery, chalky, dry. I don't know. Saying that, these two shades here are pretty. This one, the reason there's so much dug out is because I could not get it to show up evenly on the lid. So as much as I love Alyssa, I don't love this palette, but I keep it because Alyssa's everything. So now we've got the two glitter palettes. I bought this in a holiday kit like eons ago. This is the Sultry palette. I'll tell you that I bought this because I wanted to, at the time I had every single one of these kind of palettes that they made, and I wanted to keep that up. I think that the reason I don't use this is my fault. It is very usable, very beautiful, very pretty, and nice neutrals. But it's just not something for some reason that I ever reach for, and I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Look at that. It's very, these are very usable shades. There's even a little pop of pink. It's a very usable palette for sure. For some reason, I'm just not. You can see I don't think I've ever dipped a brush in it. If I have, it's only been maybe two shades. Maybe 3 if we're really lucky, but that's about it. It's just never been a palette that I've cared too much about. It has a really grippy glitter texture, and the glitter doesn't come off, which is nice, but it is beautiful. Look, it's gorgeous, but it's my fault I don't use it like I should use it. Now, this is the Emrazy palette. This is bigger than all the other ones. I bought this out of town somewhere. I don't know where. Charlotte, maybe. I don't know. This palette right here. This palette I would ride or die for. I don't use it nearly enough. I want to use it more for sure. That's actually on my priority list for this year. The color story, the idea, the will. This shade right here, this blue, this Leo shade right here, is one of the reasons I started wearing blue liner and blue shadow so much. That and one of the shades from the Nikki palette from Morphe. I couldn't think of the brand. Those are the two blues that really got me into blue shadows. The glitters, this whole row of glitters, this pink, that shade, I just, oh my god. I don't think this palette got its time. I really, really don't. I think this palette was overlooked so much, and I think it was overlooked so much because at the time the makeup industry had such an insane influx of palettes. People like ColourPop and stuff were releasing palettes damn near fucking weekly. Palettes were coming out faster than people could even notice they were on the shelves. And I think this just kind of got lost in translation because this palette is gorgeous, and of course it's not sold anymore, and so of course people can't buy it, so it's not something that people notice. But this palette, if every dog has its day, we robbed this palette of its day. We robbed it. We did this palette dirty. Look at this shade, look at this shade, look at the blue, look at this pink. This pink right here, it's got Barbie written all the freak over it. Come on. Look at the packaging. I've traveled with this, and every time I pull it out, if whoever I'm with is that palette's gorgeous. Oh my god, and then I open it and everybody gasps and I'll last, like, normal one. I gotta find the volume one. Hold on. Volume one. Okay. So now we've got the ABH Norvina collection. So I think she's actually come out with new ones since this. I had every single one of them. These palettes are not cheap. None of Anastasia's palettes are cheap, but these palettes take the damn cake. These things are crazy expensive. But this is the Pro Pigment palette, volume 1. I've got the little ones actually. Hold on, let me see if I can find the little one. Okay, we found them. I'll get to those last. But this is volume 1. And these are just, oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna try and like block. Look at this. Are we kidding? The mattes are blendable, beautiful, glorious. The shimmers are, I will tell you, the shimmers are beautiful, but they're not like the ones in the older palettes, like the ones that we went over in those palettes. They're not that kind of shimmer. Almost, they're kind of like almost in a non-disrespectful way. They're more basic, but I mean, like, I don't. You can see the blue glitter. Look at that. Look at this. Look at these. Look at the white. The white is pristine. Like, this palette's so pretty, and all of them are. I mean, oh, that's a terrible angle. Oh my god. They're all beautiful, and I don't travel with these because of the price of them. They're way too damn expensive to take anywhere unless I'm going somewhere that I know that I will be the only one that deals with my luggage. Like if I'm going in the car, like to Tennessee or something, and I know that I'm the only one that'll have my luggage, and my luggage will have ample space, and I'll keep my makeup bag out and I'll put it in that, and I'll keep it like separately, because these things run like almost $70. Absolutely not. Like, oh my god. Volume 2, one of my personal favorites. Not even just for the packaging of the outer side of it, but I mean, come on, this is giving Little Mermaid, it's giving Under the Sea, it's giving beach vacation. I mean, it's just, this is summer. To me, this is summer. The blues are stunning. These glitters are really pretty. The shimmers are nice. The one thing I will say is that there's a variety of types of shimmers. Like, this one is not the same type of glitter as this one, which is kind of annoying, because like this one's a lot better than these, not in terms of color wise, but in terms of like formula. These don't really pick up the glitter as well, but, and like this one's a glitter, but you can't even tell. Like, you're a shimmer, I mean, you can't even tell. That's how like a little bit of glitter is in that. Let me see if I can even put it now. You can't even see it. Like, it's, oh, that's me putting the light on it, like you can't even tell. This one's also a glitter, so like those two don't have, in my opinion, enough. But this shade is so pretty, and what I like about these is that you've got these like out of the box shades, like the orange and the yellows and stuff, and like the greens that are out of the box that maybe you don't use much, or if you do, you use it rarely. But it's great to have in case you're gonna do a crazy summer look or a fun look for fall or something. Like, you've got the palette if you want it. I don't love the packaging on this, mainly because I don't care for orange that much, but also because I don't like butterflies like that. This is a palette that, I'll be honest, again, I bought because I had every other one in the palette in the lineup at the time, and I didn't want to be without this one. There are shades in here I like. These blues, the greens, the reds, like these shades and stuff. These orangey colors are like the ones that are orange based, so even if it's not an orange, like that's kind of orangey based. That's, let's see. Where am I at? Like well, mainly just the oranges, I guess. These, stuff like that. I'm not an orange there's always going to be a random like little selection. So like purple, vibrant shiny purple, random vibrant ass yellow. Like it's just, they're just always gonna have random little shades in here that don't make sense, but you know, they're cool if you want to use them. We're coming to the end of these, by the way. This is number 4. Now, if I were to probably have to pick a favorite, or I would say maybe a most wearable, this is the one I'm picking, number 4. Yes, there is vibrant yellow and vibrant pinks in here, but generically speaking, this is a much more bland palette. It's not as out there, it's not as crazy, and I mean that with love and respect in the best way possible. I don't always love out there and crazy. So you've got even like, oh no, I hate when I do that. I just dug my nail in it, but even this bottom row right here, stunning shades. You've got some nice pressed glitters, you've got some purples if you want to spice it up. This shade is stunning. This one is too. I love the pinks. That pink is so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Just very, very nice, usable colors that I love so much. They're so pretty. And those wear really, really nicely. And then for the last one, for this size, I have the number 5. And again, if I were to have to use in terms of wearability, this is right after number 4 because it's a much more wearable palette. Yeah, it's obviously purples, but it's wearable purples. But to me, purples are much more wearable. You've got like lighter colors, you've got glitters, like a mauve colors, you've got some like lilac-y shades, you've got some nice like mauvey purple taupey colors, some darker ones of that, and a nice beige in case you need to blend something out. I just really like these palettes a lot. I could talk about these forever. That's why I'm trying to kind of go a little faster, because I could yap about palettes for an eon, you guys. So I've got 3 of the little ones, and in my mind, there are only 3. I could be wrong, but this is the first one. Sorry, I have to see my little mirror. Oh, I can do this, I guess. This is the first one. Very pretty. Purples, mauves, pinks, like a little bit of like a, what is that called? Like a corals, and like two shimmers. Yeah, 2 shimmers in there, which is nice. It's a nice little combo. I don't use these very much because, again, vibrance compared to wearability, this is too much. In my opinion, if I'm gonna reach for a 9-pan, it's gonna be a Huda Beauty 9-pan. And that's not tea, that's just a fact. And this is number 2, the packaging. Gorgeous. This one, in terms of wearability, I would say is a little more wearable, which is crazy because there's literally a yellow in here. But I feel like these are more like pastel-y kind of colors, lighter, kind of more muted colors, that they're more wearable. Obviously, you've got some darker ones and stuff, but they are more wearable than the first one, in my opinion. Again, you don't have to agree with me. But I like it. I don't love it for the orange. Y'all know I don't care for orange. But I do like the palette. I think it's nice. Again, packaging on this one, 15 out of 10. So pretty. Again, I'm gonna pick this over all of them. Pinks, reds, blues, glitters. Like this, if I were to make a palette, it would probably look something like this. Blues and shimmers and maybe a couple of like darker red colors over here in the corner. This is a very like true orangey red up here. Like a glittery pink. Hold on, glittery pink. And then of course you've got this row of beautiful pressed like pigmented glittery shimmers, and then this beautiful, beautiful blue here. I'm a fan. I think if I were to pick between Anastasia and Norvina, I think Norvina makes great palettes that are kind of all over the place and crazy, but beautiful nonetheless. And Anastasia makes iconic, test of time palettes, in my opinion. So I guess it's whichever one you prefer. I don't have a preference. I love them both. I have them both. I love them all. So I don't have any of the new Anastasia Beverly Hills collection for my palettes and stuff. Not as big as some of my other ones, but again, these are much more expensive palettes, so definitely not a cheap collection. But again, the quality I think of these kind of stands itself, so I adore them. I hope